Green Lantern 22, Legacy number 558, Jeremy Adams writing with Zermanico on the art. So this just kind of picks up with where the last issue left off, with the two separate groups of characters doing their own separate parts of the mission, looking for various things that are going to help build the rest of the power batteries. So Hector Hammond showed up last issue, was supposedly working with the DEO and was good, but of course he's not. And that's where we kind of pick up with this issue, with him making life miserable for Hal. Carol helps fight back as well, and there's some action here. Hector also takes control of Bones and the other DEO members to sort of be on his side. But ultimately, the good guys are able to win effectively. But it definitely kind of gives us the action right up front. Whereas the other plot with Kyle, Odyssey, and Connor, the other one,
Connor, the other Superboy.
Yeah, they're breaking out this character Dan Garrett, who of course, like I admit I didn't remember that name. When he said it, I'm like, okay, that's clearly important, but I don't remember who that is, until later. Yeah. So he gets his big reveal in a bit. There's also a lot of the Reach showing up, because that's where they're rescuing this guy from, so they have to go fight them. There's a bit more action. I think for me, like, I was enjoying this well enough, but it was kind of just like all action so far, because it was picking up right where the last issue left off. For me, the more interesting part is when, after they've dealt with Hammond, and Hal sits down with Bones and is like, all right, you're not going to be breaking any more Green Lantern peace treaties, all right? Like, we're taking what we need, we're going away, we're doing what we want, because otherwise you're going straight to Oa and you're getting thrown in a cell. I liked this just because it felt like it was playing a bit more in of the history, like, between Earth and the Guardians and whatnot, and just kind of, I don't know, like, this was more interesting character stuff, but like, eventually Bones just, like, doesn't fight. He just says, okay, what can I help you with? He just backs down and accepts that he has no power here, that Hal outranks him effectively, which didn't seem like that's what he wanted to think when he started the conversation.
No.
It's fair to say.
That's not used for Bones, because Bones is that type that he always has something on somebody. But here he just was like, oh, all right, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem when the guy you're talking to spends most of his time off of Earth. There's less to dig up on him. So, yeah. But yeah, back in the other characters, we see the character they're breaking out, who's with Odyssey, sort of reach for this Scarab that's in this little orb. And it starts to overtake him, like liquid metal. It's a whole thing. Odyssey's like saying she's going to be sick. And he ends up showing up during the fight, and he is the Silver Scarab. Which this art here is Zermanico, but it made me think a lot. Do you know what it looked like to me? It looked like some of the art from that what do you call it? Adam Strange book that Tom King did. It was giving me vibes of that.
Yeah. Of the who did the other side of it? I'm drawing a blank. I can see it. It's the pulpy style, right?
Yeah. Half was Garrett's, right? And the other half...
Doc Shaner.
Good
Lord.
That's the one, yeah.
There we go. Should not have been that hard for us. We loved that book.
Oh, that was great.
But yeah, no, it definitely is Doc Shaner-esque. I can definitely see that.
It's what maybe, I think it's also just the outfit's a little Adam Strange-esque.
Yeah.
All different colors, obviously, but...
So here's where I think there's some timey-wimey going on here, right? With the Reach. So the Reach, right, they're the ones that do the Scarabs. That's where Blue Beetle comes from. And all this other stuff.
The Jaime version of Blue Beetle, to be precise.
Yes, the Jaime version of Blue Beetle. But even then, they've retconned that the original Scarab that ended up with Egypt and all that other stuff was Reach technology. Dan Garrett was the first Blue Beetle, and he was the mentor to Ted Kord. So the fact that there's a Dan Garrett here who grabs a Silver Scarab, and now he becomes a Silver Scarab, that's all new. So I'm wondering what's going on here. Because traditionally he's not the Silver Scarab. Silver Scarab is a character from the future that comes back. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seemed like if he's not had this before, he certainly knew what he was reaching for when he did. Like, he was going for this so that he could power up. Yep. Whether that's because he's had it before or because he's, you know, whatever. But regardless, yeah, there's that. And then we go back to the Hal stuff, and he's with the Phantom Stranger, and I don't know who the white winged guy is. Who's that?
So that's Zuriel. He came from the Morrison. He's an angel, like an actual from the biblical angels. He came from the Morrison era. He was meant to replace Hawkman, right, as being the flying character with a weapon.
Okay.
But yeah. So he anytime they do kind of hell heaven type stuff, Zuriel gets brought into it.
All right. So Hal's there. He's got the key. They go into this. What is it? St. Patrick's Purgatory Island, which the editor's note says look it up because apparently it's interesting. I never did, but
I didn't either because but I will definitely have to.
Yeah, but anyway, they open a big thing and they're like, "Hey, we're getting into hell." We get this big 2-page spread of it. However, right after this, we see Sorrow, or Grey Lantern himself, walking into what looks like the same building, who's on his way to go find the same thing for the power battery that he's building, of course, with Darkstar. So, yeah, the cliffhanger, though, is that Hal and the others in hell bump into someone who Hal recognizes, and it turns out to be Nort, who's here for some reason.
Apparently Nort's in hell, which tells me that all dogs go to heaven is a lie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I mean, the art in this final page is gorgeous. The way the orange light is hitting off him in the darkness, really, really well done art. I can't say that I'm that excited by Nort in any way, but I'm sure Adams has got plans. I think it'll be funny if he gets killed quickly next issue.
Well, I mean, he's already in hell, so you gotta assume he's dead. So what's he doing there?
I mean, Hal and that aren't dead. Maybe he got down here another way.
True.
Plus it's like hell for Earth, so like I don't know where the aliens are all going when they go to quote unquote hell, but
I know. I definitely love the Hal's face, almost a shock that it's Nort. Like that XERMÁNICO, that expression right there, killing it.
Yeah, I don't know who I was expecting when they tease someone, because you see like the speech bubble in the darkness, and I'm like, oh, who's that? And then he's like, you got to be kidding me. I was like waiting for the big reveal. Oh, who is this? Who's this exciting character? And I turned the page and I'm like, oh, that's not that exciting. I mean, it's funny, but it's not that exciting.
Very funny.
But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued where they're going with it. I think this is a solid continuation of what's going on, and there's definitely some really nice art. I think as an issue, it's a bit more, just good rather than great, because it's a little bit, a lot of action, a lot of jump between the two plots, and it doesn't really feel like either plot. Like, they both have big like reveals they build up to, with Nort and the Silver Scarab, but it doesn't really feel like they both had like really satisfying chapters or stories in and of themselves, like some of the previous issues have had, which I think have been better balanced. So, it is what it is. I think it's a fine chapter, but not necessarily a standout issue of the arc. So,
I would agree.
In that case, what are you rating them at?
I'm gonna give this a straight 8.
Yeah, I think it's just good rather than great this time, so I'm going to say 7. But
okay,
yeah. It's good. It's just not great this time.